Okay, so today's the day that I review the new Logic mixtape, Bobby Tarantino 2. The series was made to quell all the hopes and dreams of every single Logic fan that was waiting on the next Young Sinatra mixtape, which was a sequel that I was actually looking forward to. I've been waiting on another one since Welcome to Forever, and it hasn't really happened since then. But this series has definitely made a good mark on the fans that were waiting on hype songs and not statement songs. So, riding off the winds of his Everybody album, it kind of makes sense that he would do something like this. Now, when I first found out about Logic back in 2012 when Undeniable came out, it was kind of interesting because a week after I downloaded that mixtape, there was an article on XXL covering Logic saying that the DatPiff officials had actually contacted his management saying, how do you have all these people downloading this mixtape? There's no way that you could just drop it and then all of a sudden 200,000 people download it in less than 24 hours. It's almost unheard of with people that are just bouncing into the scene. Now, Logic had done some touring and had his videos become almost viral in other countries, but that was something that shocked the officials of DatPiff and even Logic's record label at the time, his independent label, Visionary. And it's funny to see that because now all these years later, he's got a major record deal and he doesn't even put out mixtapes until people are crying and whining about it. But we still know that from this mixtape, Logic can still go into the studio and rap his ass off. He can do what he wanted to do when he first started this, when he first brought out Under Pressure, when he first brought out The Incredible True Story, and now that he's gone from this huge statement of trying to incorporate everybody, the one album that I was waiting for a long time to drop, he made a statement and it was much needed and appreciated. Everybody needed to at least listen to it once. Granted, it seems preachy, but when you're an artist that's trying to make a statement in the world that is in so much corruption and so much disgust and anger right now, you need to at least find a way to speak to your peers and speak to the people that are possibly not your peers, or possibly fans, or people that are going through depression and struggling through that. Now, there are so many different things with that album that I really enjoyed, and I'm glad that he did that. But on to the mixtape. This was the piece of Everybody that everybody was missing. Everyone missed it. You needed more than one song with a back-to-back-to-back song with Juicy J to just rap. Granted, that song is one of my favorite on the album. One of my favorites. And it's something that should have happened a little bit more of, because although it's a statement, Kendrick still had Black of the Berry and All Right and even I. Those songs are very rappy, but they also have a message behind them. He should have at least looked into that. Now, the mixtape is basically just smacking you every single second that you look away from the direction of the mixtape. You look away for 1 second, it smacks you back and it has you right in its attention. You're at full attention the entire mixtape. Now, the introduction to this mixtape is Rick and Morty, and I love the series, but not in the last year when everyone's starting to just go completely apeshit over it. I just can't get on with it now. I'll watch it when it comes out on DVD, but not when everyone's watching it as it's premiering. It's just it's not that appealing because everyone went crazy when the Szechuan sauce came out, and that shows the cancer of just angry and angsty teenagers that are trying to do something different. You're not that different. You're just closeted and you're angry at nothing. Anyway, this mixtape is something that demands your attention as soon as it starts. And after the Rick and Morty skit, starts off the song called Overnight. And that song is amazing. It's just a very good way to Logic having that doorway that shows himself being in that realm of mumble rap, but he's just one step above it. He's still able to rap coherently. He's still able to do something different and wow the audience as it goes along. The production on this album is something that's amazing. Mixtape, whatever. The production on this is just, it's out of left field. Six has done the production on it like he always does. Six is an amazing producer. But there's also production from Marshmello on here too, which is pretty interesting because the most recent thing that I've heard from Marshmello was the whole Lil Peep thing that they dropped. And rest in peace, like I said. But that is an amazing effort that he did, and it's really cool. Now, there are some songs on here that I really enjoyed. One of them being Hyuk, as it's supposed to be that little comeback at Joyner Lucas. Now, I love me some Joyner Lucas. This man can rap till the cows come home. He's got a speed that is almost right there with Tech 9 and Twisted Insane. If Twisted Insane and Joyner Lucas did a song, man, that would just make my fan senses just tingle. It'd be amazing. But Logic basically said, I got you more press than your publicist could ever get you, which was really cool. But it wasn't the best, because Logic isn't a battle rapper. That's the thing that Joyner Lucas has yet to let go of and just let this issue sit. It wasn't really much of an issue. Logic was going through some stuff, and he made his verse for Sriracha and sent it back to Tech 9 and did what he did. He was talented enough to at least freestyle the verse and make it sound interesting and sent it back. Joyner got upset, and then all these other things happened. If no one knows, please feel free to look it up. I'm not going to add fuel to the fire. But it's not going to end the beef. There's still going to be crap going on. Regardless, this mixtape is what we've wanted from Logic for a long time. There's a song on here called State of Emergency that has 2 Chainz. Really good song. It's almost like 2 Chainz took the first track that he had on Pretty Girls Like Trap Music and just put that flow and embodied it into State of Emergency. Now, if 2 Chainz would do that more often, he'd probably have a little bit more of a listening coverage and a larger audience. But that's just me. There's also a song on here that has Young Sinatra on it, which is a little strange that it would be himself featuring his younger self. Don't really get how that whole thing matches together, but it shows that Logic is still willing to go back to the old days of his music and reach into himself and pull it out, as if it wasn't really a struggle. None of these songs seem forced. And there's a song on here called Midnight that really shows that it was almost something that he pulled from his Under Pressure days and just grasped something that was a little bit ahead of its time. And as the song went on, I imagined it as if I was back in the car that I was driving in 2013, listening to Under Pressure for the first time. If he had done this with his other mixtapes and his other albums, I think he might be on a little bit of a different level and respected just a little bit more. I've always respected him as an artist, but not many people in the hip-hop community do respect him. Mainly because of everybody, but that's just a little ass backwards. You get mad at someone for making a statement, which is stupid. And this mixtape is basically what we've been asking for. So if anyone wants to take a listen, go ahead, give it a listen. It's something that's definitely worth it. Is it something that we've been waiting for since Young Sinatra, Welcome to Forever, and Undeniable? Yeah. But also no. It doesn't have that same charm. It doesn't have that same fire and flame and ferocity and even anger. There were some of the best storytelling songs that Logic has ever made on Undeniable. Dear God was one of his best tracks and still remains to be one of his best tracks to date. And he hasn't really made another good sex song like Tic Tac Toe. That's just really catchy and has all the elements to make something a good club hit. But Logic isn't really a club rapper, but he could be if he tried. Just for one song, not a whole album. We're not pulling a ludicrous Battle of the Sexes here. But all in all, this is a really good mixtape. Something that we've been waiting for. Not every element of it is what we represented and what we wanted, but it's still good. Yeah, I think that's all. So, as always, my name is Ethan, otherwise known as Two-Face, and this is episode 11 of my show, Claws. Now, I'm going to be putting purchase info or download info, whatever it may be, in the description. If anyone wants to listen to this project, please feel free to give it a listen. Represent Maryland if you're from Maryland, and give the man some credit, because he's definitely deserving of it. And I will be coming back on Friday with a review of the new Tech 9 album, Planet. Until then, I will see everybody later. Peace.